Welcome back to the channel, YouTube. I'm Navy Dad. This is Rusted Bolt's garage. It's freaking cold in here. And you know how they say size matters? Apparently not to GM. Because this ain't big. Aha! You thought I was going somewhere with that, didn't you? No. This is disappointing. Oh! I'm in. This is disappointing. Okay, sorry. Alright, so here's the deal. If you saw part one of Old Blue's attitude adjustment, we lowered the rear end a little bit. Not enough. We're still going to have to do the front spring purchase. And we installed our Suburban rear sway bar. And I will tell you that the truck does handle so much better. I'm talking, we're talking this truck has 210,000 miles on it. The whole front suspension is shot. Although it doesn't squeak when it's cold even. But it did improve the handling so much. I've got two different roads that I'll drive on quite often. They're high-speed off-ramps and on-ramps that have a pretty sharp curve. And could really see the difference driving this truck now with it lowered in the back and with that sway bar, and it really feels different. So, getting ready to do the drop spindle installation, I thought, well, let's see about upgrading the front sway bar and see if we can do some more cheap improvements. No. Denied. Now, you would think that the various different versions of the GMT 400 would have various different sizes of front sway bars, and there are a couple of different size sway bars. In fact, if you look at LMC Truck's catalog, it says something about there being the standard base model sway bar being a 1-inch bar. I can't find what truck a 1-inch bar came on. I mean, that's a lot smaller than what's on Old Blue. Maybe the 88 and 90, the 88 to 90 trucks had that. They did have some suspension differences. I'll get into that later with those trucks. But I took my handy dandy measuring tool, Harbor Freight, of course, to the junkyard, and I measured everything that I could find in pick and pull. Suburbans, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, 1500 trucks, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, 2500s, even a 2500 Suburban. And they're all the same size. So I went to another junkyard hunting a 3500, figuring, a 1-ton truck or 3500 heavy duty might have a bigger sway bar. Well, I forgot to take my handy dandy little measuring tool. I thought, well, here is a monster. It was a 96 3500 long bed quad cab with a big block under the hood. Surely that has a bigger sway bar. This is that sway bar. It is exactly the same size, or 32.2 millimeters on my handy dandy little measurement tool, as the stock bar that's in Old Blue. Very disappointing. So a little research, kept on looking, trying to find something bigger. I mean, surely a 1-ton dually 4-wheel drive has got the biggest bar. It does. It's 33 millimeters. So there isn't a hill of beans difference between all the different versions. Apparently there's 4 different size bars, but they only range from 31 to 33 millimeters that I can find. Now if you find something else, let me know so I can post it, because that would be cheap fun. So anyway, this will be going to the scrapyard. Very disappointing. So I was hoping we could do a cheap handling upgrade with the front sway bar, but it's not going to happen. But we still are going to get some better handling by doing a further drop. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, so yes, it has 210,000 miles on it. Yes, everything's shot. But am I going to replace everything today? No, I'm not. The only thing I am going to replace is the sway bar end links and bushings. Really, the tie rods and the ball joints in this truck, believe it or not, are still in really good shape. They have been greased to the hilt over their life. So this truck was well cared for a while. So what I'm going to do is I am going to replace the boots, both on the tie rod ends, and then also on the ball joints itself. But I'm not going to do any replacement or repair of that stuff. I'm just going to install the drop spindles. Why, you ask? Well, when I do the engine swap, all of this stuff is coming out, and I'll do it all then. But I have the drop spindles, and I really want to get them installed because they're so cool. So here we go. Okay. Sorry about the crappy camera angle and the crappy lighting. I know I need lights. I need better cameras. That's coming in 2020. But right now it's 47 degrees outside. It's freaking cold. That's freaking cold in Texas. And it's starting to drizzle. It's almost sleet. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, won't pretty much show you everything we're doing here because you probably know how to do some of this stuff. But what we're going to start with doing, we're going to take off the sway bar. That's the first thing. And we're going to take off the shocks. And then we're going to take off the brake calipers. And then we get to use Finesse. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Finesse's older sister, Finessette. And beat the crap out of that stuff to get it all off. So let's get started, shall we? When you're working with suspension parts like this, never take the nut all the way off. That'll allow it to stay on when you beat the crap out of it. Very important with your ball joints when you're dealing with that. That thing will kill you. Got it. Let this down slowly. Or that'll happen. You don't want to, if you're doing it this way and you're going to replace your the grease cups, don't use brake cleaner in here. You just destroy what grease is in there and it'll just contaminate it. Just clean it off as best you can. Cool part here is this is a complete kit, including the calipers and brand new rotors and pads, but they're rusty. But these are actually almost nearly new remans from Advanced Auto Rattles. I've been coming to you all day from this precarious position. Anyway, we got our 2-inch Belltech drop spindles installed on this side. Time to go do the other side, which I'm not going to bother to show you because, well, that's redundant. So anyway, we'll get this done and I'll show you the final results. Okay, so the drop is all done and we are getting ready to put it all back together. But here's something that is kind of stupid that you need to keep in mind. I did a hurry up and get new tires for this thing because I had to get it inspected and tires were shot. I just got the cheapest tires I could, which were 235 75 15s. And yeah, my whole point was I'm later going to put bigger wheels on it, so I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money. But now I'm kind of thinking I want to keep the rallies and restore those and keep the 15s, but geez, my hand is bigger than these dadgum tires. So yeah, anyway, what you need to do is think ahead so you don't do rework and spend unnecessary money like I'm probably going to do with these freaking tires. So here is our major failure right there.
And if you turn the wheel about 3/4 of the way, maybe actually about half the way, the wheel hits the control arm right there. Yes, you can cut these back, and that's what most guys do, or a lot of guys do. You cut this back, and you cut it away, and it won't hit your 15-inch factory rallies. I don't believe in that school of thought. So I was going to upgrade the wheel and tire size anyway. I just didn't want to do it now. But we went ahead and did that. So Merry Christmas, old Blue. Both new socks and shoes. So like I said earlier, think your decisions through before you just jump in and do something. I mean, I had to get these dang tires to get the truck inspected. I knew I was going to upgrade, but didn't plan on doing that anytime soon. Then went ahead and did the Belltech drop. Did not have an understanding about 15-inch factory rallies hitting the lower control arm. And so, like I said, read the instructions. Anyway, yeah, like I said, this was a hasty move on my part. I mean, look at these things. Like I said, I can palm these tires. They're so daggum small. I mean, edge to edge, they're about 7.5, 8 inches, right around there, as opposed to these bad boys, just a shade over 10 inches. So these are going to look great on that truck. So let's get them on. Okay, so the mistake has been fixed. We now have our 17-inch wheels and tires installed, along with a brand new set of power stop front rotors, because my cheap shit rebuilt advanced auto Riley's calipers kind of started sticking. So there you go. Buy good stuff when it comes to brakes, especially. So yes, I mean, this whole failure was my fault. I should have researched a little bit better, but hopefully you will learn from my mistake. But that's what the fender did. Shredded this brand spanking new tire. I mean, I think it's okay. I'll probably move it to the back. It's not deep enough anywhere. This is actually the worst of it, from here to here, where I hit a bump and it went and snagged that snagged the fender. Interesting enough, I posted this failure on my Instagram page, and did get a reply back, and the guy said, "Let me guess, the right front fender." And I said, "Yeah." So apparently, when they built these wonderful trucks, and they are wonderful, I do love these trucks, they're not perfectly lined up from one side to the other. Apparently all of them, because this is like a known thing that I just totally missed. You know, sometimes you do need to get out and onto the forums and stuff like that and really review things before you go and do it. But it also lends some creed to my videos, because I do them, I film them as I do them. So none of this stuff is mocked up or anything. I make mistakes. Humans do that. So anyway, it gouged that. Now I'll show you the other side. Not sure if you can see this, but it just barely has a rub mark here. And it actually wouldn't have had this at all, except for the fact that this fender has been slightly dented. Right here, and then there's a little bit up front. So it did this. See that? You can see it right there. And that's what caught it. If that hadn't been like that, I wouldn't have had a problem on this side. Now it even gets better. So here's another failure. I went and bought this thing off Amazon. And I bought it because, yep, that's a fender roller. I might have to roll the fenders on Miata. Not sure yet. But you know how sometimes you feel like Amazon reviews are bullshit? Yeah. This one specifically said, or that will work with Chevy trucks. And I'm not even going to put the listing on there because I don't want to, I just don't like to badmouth sellers and people, even though it pisses me off. But just be really, really careful if you do buy one of these things for a Chevy truck. There was reviewer on there that said he had a 93 C1500 and he was able to do it fine. Well, this ain't even close to 5x5. Nope, this is like Honda and Toyota crap here. At least the largest size that you could do on here is probably 5 on 4.5. But that's it. It will not fit 5x5. So be really careful if you buy one of these damn things. So what are we going to do? Now I'm going to do what I should have done in the first place. You come over here. Remember Finesse? I'm going to get Finesse's little sister. I'm going to beat the crap out of it. One thing to keep in mind, whether you're going to use a fender roller or a baseball bat or a hammer, whatever, if you have good paint, heat this area up with a heat gun to about, I don't know, I think they say about 140 degrees. I had somebody ping me on Instagram say that, but I was kind of like, I'm not really so terribly worried about my paint. So I'm just going to hit it with a hammer. It's kind of a little hard to see. I probably should have done a video before I banged it. But this is how the fender sits right here. You can see it's flat, perpendicular to the ground, or horizontal, well, one of those. Anyway, so you basically beat the crap out of it and fold it up under. And hopefully that should be enough. Might hit it just a little bit more. Then go do the other side and then test. Okay, finally, redemption. Yes, beating the crud out of the fenders with the hammer fixed the issue. I just went and hit the same bump that took the big chunk out of the tire, and we're good to go. I even took it with a load of crap to the dump, and we're good. So I think it's looking pretty cool now. So I do need to finish the back. So we need to drop it down that 2 more inches that the Belltech spring perches allow, and that is going to be sitting really nice, I think. Here they are. So we're going to get to that in the next video, which will be a little short video, just doing that, removing the bed and going ahead and installing the spring perches. This one's going to get a little long, so I didn't want to do that in this one, but we will do a short one here in the next couple of weeks that'll have that. Then that's going to be the end of videos for Old Blue for a while, except for one last deal, and that would be that. Yes. So rust can be cool. Patina definitely is cool, but this isn't. I mean, that is just bad paint that is peeled over the years, and it's just not cool. And I don't want to risk that rusting worse and rusting a hole in the roof and that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand that down and I'm going to paint the roof white. And maybe give it some faux patina, haven't decided yet. Or I may actually paint it a pearl white. So it'll give it kind of that C10 look from the 60s, 70s, and early 80s. And then at some point I'm going to enhance the patina on the truck and clear cut it, because the hood is just really cool. So anyway, we will get to that soon. Okay, that's it for this one. Hope you all enjoyed it. We took some failures and wait, no, what is it? Lemons and lemonade, or I don't know, some shit like that. Anyway, I screwed up, but I think I fixed it. Hope you learned something. Maybe you won't have to go through that, even though the whole internet already knew about it. That's what you get for not doing your research. So anyway, so that's it for this one. Now, we've only got 2 videos left on that truck that I'm planning on doing, and that's of course a really quickie on doing the rear, actually removing the rear bed and installing the front spring perches to lower the truck another 2 inches. So 2 inches up front and 4 inches in the back, and that's as far as I'm going to go with this truck. I don't want to put it down anymore because I am going to use it like a truck. So then, of course, you saw the roof. It's bad. I don't like, that's not a cool patina, right? I mean, that's just rust because of crappy paint. And there's a difference. The hood, that's cool.
but I'm going to paint the roof white, like kind of a classic C10 look from the late 60s, the 70s, and I think it'll look pretty cool in that truck. It'll be easy to do, and I'll show you how to do that. And then that's going to be it for the truck for a while, because then we get back to work on Pepper, my Miata turbo build. I have got stacks of parts that I have been literally buying for 6 years, and I've got almost everything ready to go. I'm starting with the bottom up. We're going to do all the suspension stuff first. I'm going to drop the entire engine and transmission into K-member all at one time. It's going to be a pretty cool build, and then when that's done, we get back to the truck, and we're going to do all of our suspension upgrades, and we're going to do our engine swap and completely revamp the entire interior. So, like I said, that's all that's probably going to be done with through the next year or so, maybe even 18 months. I don't know. It depends on how busy I am. So, that's it. We'll see you on the next one. Boys, you be safe. Y'all take care. See you next time. I'm out of beer again. How does this keep happening? I don't get it.